benefit all beings.
Yeah, I'm never making an edit ever again. Welcome to Ghost of Tsushima, where the enemies will ask you to watch this parry before getting parried and cut up like sashimi. While you are busy committing war crimes against the Mongols and bringing dishonor to you and your cow, we have achievements, and I got all of them. I 100% games, and this is the Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut tier list. Quick note before we get into the list, I listed these in the order I got them, so if they seem out of place, that's why. Our first achievement is Gathering Storm, which we get for recovering the katana of Clan Sakai. This is akin to finishing the tutorial. I don't remember if it's like just picking it up after getting your ass beat or before the Khan throws you over the bridge. It's not a tough achievement since 93% of people have this. There isn't much else to say. This is the easiest achievement you can get in this game, so it's going into Baby's first achievement tier. Don't judge my names, okay? Now we have the reason I made the disclaimer about my lists first. The next achievement Steam said I got is Grand Opening, which says purchase something from Baku the Voiceless in New Game Plus. If you're confused, great. So am I. I got this less than 30 minutes after Gathering Storm. My assumption is that it has something to do with the way the director's cut is. I feel like because I got certain cosmetics immediately due to owning it, it triggered this achievement. If this is the case for everyone, it would go into Baby's first achievement tier. Because I can't verify that, I'm judging it assuming you don't get this glitch. Baku the Voiceless is a homie you unlock in New Game Plus. He offers cosmetics and charms that can help you out or make the game difficult if you want that. His currency are these flowers you get from doing side missions and such over again, so if you play a couple things you've already beaten before, you'll have this achievement no problem. The achievement may be easy, but getting to New Game Plus is still a sizable ask, so I'm going to put this into "oh, I'm ghosting it" tier, as you're really trying to live up to the legend of Jin Sakai himself. Point of no return is what you get for breaking your code in the name of scoring some pussy. But also, not really, because you two never really do anything.
You're a real bastard, Jin Sakai.
Jin has no pull game, I guess. Just like me, for real. Maidenless. Anyway, once you stealth kill someone, you grab this achievement. This game makes a big deal out of it for the first time, but you'll be slitting throats and sleeping soundly in no time. So this goes into Baby's first achievement tier. Next we have Stoking the Flame, which says rescue Taka from the Mongols. This isn't groundbreaking nor difficult. I guess it does give you your first introduction to Mongol camps, which is fine. You also get a stealth mission. Everyone loves stealth missions, right? But yeah, you're just progressing the story. So I'm just gonna slot this into Baby's first achievement tier. Now we completely abandon Tsushima and instead go play with Gyozen. A fun fact, my brother got me this game so we could play the Legends mode with my father, so it's no surprise that we're going right into that side of the achievements. For those who don't know, this game has online multiplayer, baby! They frame this mode as stories or tales told by Gyozen, this blind that I blame for taking 3 years off my life at least. Rant aside, the achievement I got next was Promising Start, which is given when you complete a Legends mode story. Legends mode does have its own full tale, and following the start of it will net you this achievement. It's not hard, but not a lot of people have it, because, well, it's online, and you need to have another person to play this old ass game. So, this is going into Gyozen Never Wrote That Tale tier. Now we have Ultimate Truth, which is given for completing the final wave in a gold survival. Survival is where a ton of my hours in this game went because I just play it for fun with my family. It got to the point where we got this down to a science, and the three of us could easily handle a gold survival. Only 4% of players have this. Again, probably because old online game or whatever. But if you're putting in the time to 100% the game, this is not hard, I promise. So it's going into Gyozen Never Wrote That Tale tier. Self-Actualized is given for reaching rank 20 in any role. There are 4 classes in Legends mode: Samurai, Archer, Assassin, and Ronin. Think of it like tank, ranged, flank, and healer. Anyway, you need to get one of those to 20. Again, because this is just part of playing the mode itself, this isn't tough, and you'll be able to get this easily. So into Gyozen Never Wrote That Tale it goes. Open for Business says stagger enemies 50 times. I can't remember if I got this in story or Legends. but I'm assuming Legends. Regardless though, this isn't tough. You have tools to stagger and it's wise to use them. I'm going to put this achievement into Baby's first achievement. Honor Bound says bind a piece of gear to a class. This sounds simple, but the process is a little messy. So in Legends mode, you have equipment, your sword, ranged weapon, charms, all that stuff. It naturally comes with a grade. This can be increased with some currency up to 110 before it has a soft cap. In order to increase it more, you have to bind it to a character, meaning you can't use it with your other classes. This does mean you're playing a solid amount of Legends mode. It's not necessarily hard, but it's more of a time sink than anything. So I'll put this into Gooning for Gyozen tier, which I've never done, by the way. The next achievement is Curse No More, which says purify a cursed piece of gear. When you hit 110 gear score, you will have the chance to start earning cursed gear when you complete a game. This gear is naturally bad in its stats. To deal with it, you need to play games on gold difficulty or higher, and complete a challenge that the cursed gear gives you, which can range from emoting on your enemies before you can kill them, to God himself striking you down. Complete the challenge, and you get 1 currency that you can use to bypass gear challenges and get gear to 120. And you also get this achievement. Getting this shows you're getting the hang of Legends mode, so I'll put this into Gooning for Gyozen tier. Ultimate Warrior is given when you reach rank 20 with all roles. The time sink here seems intense, but you level decently fast if memory serves right, so you'll find yourself getting to 20 in just a few games apiece. It's a time sink, so not much of a skill achievement, but that just means we're back to Gooning for Gyozen. Witness Protection is an ironic achievement, which you get for shooting a terrified enemy with an arrow while they are running away. This is easily done in story mode, as there are charms and even armor that you can use to increase the odds of making enemies terrified. You can also use your ult, as I call it, to force everyone in the area to bow to your aura alone. Piccolo needs to keep an eye on this one for real. Anyway, as long as you aren't the worst shot on the planet, you're getting this with no issue. So I'm going to be putting this into a new tier called Taking Out the Trash tier. Get it? Because it's like a chore. Sorry. Now we have Lost and Found, which requires you to discover a Pillar of Honor and collect its sword kit. This is a fun way to customize your sword and sheath, and the music it plays is funky as hell, and definitely didn't jump scare me the first time I heard it. But yeah, you'll run into these as you're randomly exploring. The yellow bird can also lead you to them, so you'll happen to come across them while you're just roaming or going to a mission spot. So I'm just going to put this into Taking Out the Trash tier. Company of Wolves is given for recruiting the Straw Hat Ronin. It's a story mission. This isn't gonna break you, unlike what Jin did to that poor son of a bitch. But yeah, this is going right into Baby's first achievement tier. There's genuinely nothing else to say. Have a Nice Fall is given for killing an enemy with fall damage by knocking them off a ledge. There are plenty of ways to get kills in this game, but this one is a personal favorite. I could see you not getting this if you just want to best each enemy with a weapon, but come on, this is funny. This is going into Taking Out the Trash tier though, as it's just something you'll do in gameplay unprompted. Probably. Family Reunion is for freeing Lord Shimura from the Khan's clutches. This is yet another story mission, so while I know it's not like the easiest thing ever, due to having to fight against your friend and whatnot, I'm still putting this into Baby's first achievement tier because, well, I can. Now we have Liberation achievements. Yippee. I'm listing these all together for simplicity's sake. Forgive my pronunciation. I'm sure I'm gonna butcher these names like I butchered the Mongols. We have Hero of the People for liberating 12 occupied areas in Ishuhara. Good Riddance for liberating 8 occupied areas in Toyotama. Securing the Sanctuary for liberating Toyotama. Mass Eviction for liberating 7 areas in Kamigata. A Fight for the Isle for liberating Ishuhara. A new safe haven for liberating Kamigata. And Master Liberator for clearing the entire island. All of these are for kicking in Mongol skulls and clearing camps, so this is going into I'm ghosting it tier. Now we have Slay, which is for getting 30 pieces of vanity gear. This is nothing crazy. With the Pillars of Honor, as well as just getting other cosmetics from vendors, or just outright getting them from the gift altar, you can get this with no issue. Another great way to get cosmetics is also doing the haikus, so you have a lot available to you. I'm going to slot this into taking out the trash tier. Monochrome Masters unlocks when you purchase an item from the black and white dye merchants. I'm not going to lie, they have some pretty tough cosmetics, so I got this pretty early on. I need to look good when I separate a Mongol head from its shoulders, that's all I'm saying. Only 22% of players have this. I'm guessing because they're kind of out of the way and it's not like a gameplay buff, it's just a cosmetic. Regardless though, it's kind of a random achievement that isn't hard but doesn't need to be done for main game completion. So I'm putting this in a new tier called the junk drawer. I'm not saying the cosmetics are trash, I have no idea where to put this achievement, to be honest. Gifted is for collecting 10 gifts. Like I said, the citizens of Tsushima will leave you gifts such as materials and cosmetics. Get 10 and you've got this achievement. Again, I really don't know where to put this, so I'm gonna slap this into the junk drawer tier. Quick study is given when learning all 4 combat stances. These are gotten when observing and killing Mongol leaders. The more you kill, the more stances that you'll be able to unlock. Once you have all 4, you'll be able to have the perfect stance to take on any enemy with ease. Admittedly, I kind of just used one stance that let me kick the weaker enemies to the ground and stab them twice. The others I just used the parry and other items to clean up. This is pretty simple and kind of just happens in normal gameplay, so I'm going to put this into the junk drawer tier as well. Leader of the people comes from rallying the peasants of Yarikawa. This is still a story mission, and while it is down the road in the story, spoiler, it's just going into baby's first achievement tier. Haunting Precision says kill 20 enemies with ghost stance strikes. Getting your ult requires getting kills without getting hit. It took me a good bit to get used to the game, to be fair, and I was playing on the second hardest difficulty because I like a challenge, but I also don't hate myself. But I have full faith in you that you can get this. Being a simple combat achievement, I'm gonna put this into taking out the trash tier. Now we have Flash of Steel, which is for defeating 20 enemies with a counterattack after a perfect parry. This is easily done on the weakest tier of enemies since they usually die to a counterattack without many other hits. All this really means is that you need to get the timing for perfect parries down. Since over half the players have this, it's not groundbreaking. So into taking out the trash tier it goes. Champion of the Kami says win a Legends Rivals match. This is the PvP of the game, but not really. You're still fighting PvE enemies, but can sabotage other actual players by spending currency. Now, obviously, I can't tell you how hard this is because it kind of depends. You may end up with Jimbo and Timbo the Touchers, who only play this game to stroke their ego before they continue to run the streets with their filthy touching hands. Or you could have a team pop in and just disconnect, so it's a free win. Regardless, since it's Legends mode in 2026, we're gonna put this in Gooning for Gyozen tier. Now we have the Headstrong Thief, the first of many Tales missions. Certain characters in the game have storylines for you to follow. Some of them are better than others, so let's do a quick ranking. Yuna is the worst easily because I can't remember anything about it, so she gets D tier. Next is Ishikawa and his achievement, the Unbending Archer. I don't really care about his student much. We know damn well if Jin fought her, she'd be cooked like a white woman making a well done steak. But I do like her funny mask and I use it on Legends mode, so she gets C tier. Then we have Masako and her achievement, the Vengeful Warrior. She has passion, let no one be fooled. But what did she say f me for? I almost put her down like Old Yeller. I was basically begging her to try me again. But yeah, the twist is decent enough in my eyes, so she gets B tier. A tier though goes to the Warrior Monk and my boy Norio, a man fighting for good who gets driven over the edge and goes completely apeshit on some Mongols for what they did to his brother. And you know what? Hell yeah. I haven't seen a crash out like that since that one Leonardo DiCaprio performance. Anyway, all of these achievements are going into I'm ghosting it, since it's just cleaning up quests at the end of the day. Den of Thieves is next, and while it should be referring to our government, it's instead talking about discovering Umugi Cove. This is one of the only achievements for discovering a place specifically, but hey, we take those. It's not super hidden or anything though, so I'm putting this into taking out the trash tier. Birthright is given when you recover your father's armor. This is a story mission, and while yes, technically the Cove is also kinda a story mission as well, I'm putting this one into baby's first achievement tier because you don't have to do anything really for this one, and also because baby and father get it. Anyway, now we have all in the wrist, which is what I say to myself right before jorking it. This, however, is referring to defeating the maximum amount of enemies within a single standoff. I thought it was capped at 3, but you can actually increase it with a set of armor, which gives you 2 more once you upgrade it enough, giving you 5 kills in total. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, if I see 4 of my homies run in and get sliced down like Obi-Wan, I am not being the 5th. Because you do have to kind of work for the armor upgrades, as well as getting your stats up to get to the base of 3, I'm putting this into I'm ghosting it tier. Dying Embers is for eradicating the traitors in the name of the fallen friend. I'm pretty sure this is when Taka cosplays as a French revolutionist, but hey, I could be wrong. Anyway, it's still a story mission, so you know what that means. It's going right into baby's first achievement tier. Now we have the Ghost, which we get for embracing our new identity, kind of like McLovin. I don't remember what you have to do to get this. I'm pretty sure it's for ending Act 2. Regardless, it's story, baby, so it's going into the baby tier. Every trick in the book is not only what you fell for with your first act, but it's also an achievement given when we acquire all throwable ghost weapon techniques. These can absolutely carry you in tough fights, and help make the final fight one of the better ones in gaming in my opinion. As you've been playing the game, you get points for this, so it's not too crazy, but it does kind of make the ghost, so I'm putting it into I'm ghosting it tier. The Exiled Alliance isn't talking about your old high school friend group, but rather reuniting with your allies in the Frozen North. This is for getting into Act 3, which is the shortest in the game by far, but it's still story, so it's going right into baby's first achievement tier. Teller of Tales is done when completing all mythic tales. I'm not gonna rank these, mostly because I know I forgot at least 2, if not more, but I remember the Stupid Cold Mountain one, and doing a bunch of duels. The duels had really good music. I wish that was on Spotify, but I can't find it in the main soundtrack, which super sucks. Anyway, you kind of just find the storyteller who's around and listen to his stories. Then you 100% believe everything he says, and then find everything he's talking about. Which means I guess all the stories were true, and we should be very afraid of that storyteller. But yeah, this is going into I'm ghosting it, since it's just doing some stuff for the 100%. A painful blockage, other than just eating 2 pizzas raw, is the next achievement, which is given for summoning 5 shades in a single rivals match. Shades put a debuff on the enemy team to where they can't buy anything, and thankfully it only costs 5 of the currency. The only issue is that you can only have 1 out at a time, and if the enemy team just leaves, then well, you can't get this. Due to how old the game is, this is pretty rough to do. But since it's anything PvP related, I'm gonna put this into gooning for Gyozen tier. True Understanding is the next achievement, and we get it after completing all Legends mode stories on a single difficulty. This achievement is important because it actually is tied to another DLC achievement that has been historically bugged. So I recommend doing all of the difficulties, or only doing gold, as I think that's the best way to make the other achievement pop later. Either way though, you get to hear the tales Gyozen has been putting out in his dark, sick world. So to add to it, we're just going to put this into gooning for Gyozen tier. Jin Sakai is a charming man, no homo, and that's the name of our next achievement, which is given for equipping a charm in all 6 slots. I believe you need to hit up Fox Shrines to get more slots, which you were already doing for the 100%, so you'll get this at some point. Plus charms can let you make some disgusting builds, so they're useful anyways. Since this isn't exactly island related, as it's just charm slots, I'm gonna put this into the junk drawer tier. Know your enemy does not mean give your enemy back shots, unlike what Mr. Miyagi said.
You must give your enemy back shot.
It means collect 20 Mongol artifacts. This is made much easier with the outfit that gives you the Firefly when you are near one. Usually these artifacts are found in large settlements and Mongol camps, so getting 20 isn't hard, but since I'm hard, I'm putting this into I'm ghosting it tier. The perfect storm is given when fully upgrading your sword. This is something you're gonna do anyway, since it puts your time to kill down, and it helps you easily murder the filthy Mongol dogs. But yeah, this is gonna go right into I'm ghosting it tier. The Ghost of Legend is unlocked when you earn the title of Ghost of Tsushima. As you play the game, you get more skills and abilities in this title ranking system. It helps mark your journey and legend increase as word of your deeds spread across the island. It's also super funny to hear the people talk about you like some kind of god, and definitely doesn't help stroke my big fat ego.
Ghost won this war single-handedly. He killed the Khan. He can do anything.
But yeah, when you max this out, you get the title of Ghost of Tsushima, and you get the achievement. So you already know I'm putting it into I'm ghosting it tier. Helping Sword Hand is given when completing all Tales on Tsushima. Now, I can't remember if there are hidden tails on the main island, but I know there are hidden ones in the DLC, so I'm guessing there are probably some here. That would also explain the 10% of people that have the achievement. Either way though, this is a pretty solid amount of work, and it shows you're committed to the cause of freeing the island. So I'm putting this into sucking the Shogun tier. I know it doesn't make a ton of sense, just let me have fun, okay? Next is Dirge of the Fallen Forge, which you get for playing Lament of the Storm at a friend's grave. I had no idea this was supposed to be Taka's grave, to be honest. And I spent a few songs serenading my dead horse, since it is its own POI, and I may or may not have been more attached to my horse than Taka. Sorry, not sorry. But yeah, if you play the song at his grave, you get this achievement. It's not hard, but definitely not something you'll just do, probably. So I'm gonna put this into I'm ghosting it tier. I know Taka would love to see me ghosting it in his honor. Sovereign End is given when you confront the Khan, also known as kicking his ass, murdering all his men, and running him through. Hell yeah. It's a decent fight, and I love that it isn't just a duel. You also get to hit the Khan with all of your bullshit at the end. It's so funny to do. But yeah, this is going into I'm ghosting it tier. Mono no aware is given for beating the game. It says something different, but I ain't trying to say all that. You get to pick what you do to your uncle. I've done both, one in the normal mode and the other in New Game Plus. I think it's way more badass to just leave him and walk away as you get the music at the end for aura farming content, instead of just dying. I don't know which is the canon ending, but it's whatever. Take your pick. For finishing the game, I'll slot this into sucking off the Shogun tier. We did good, but we ain't done yet. Next we have
There can be only one!
which is for completing every duel. These are marked for you, and assuming you did all the duels from quests, this isn't that crazy. By this point, you should be absolutely chopping up these fools and serving them your aura. So I'm putting this into I'm ghosting it tier. Now we have a moment in time, which is for personalizing a scene in photo mode. I only realized this was a thing when I went to see what other achievements I had left to do. You kind of just mess around in the camera mode and take a picture after you mess with it. Yeah, this isn't anything crazy, so I'm tossing this into the junk drawer tier. Light the Way is for rekindling all the lighthouses of Tsushima. Actually, lighting them isn't hard, you just push a button. The first one you do is part of a mission, if I remember correctly, and from there they either have enemies or like small platforming sections to get up there. In terms of difficulty, that's not hard, but if you just want to kill the Khan and your uncle, you're not going to do this. So because it's for the 100%, I'm putting this into I'm ghosting it tier. Favor of the Kami is given for finding and honoring all Shinto shrines across the island. This is mostly just platforming, which in this game is not hard at all. Yeah, they can be a tad confusing on where to go sometimes, but it's nothing you can't figure out with a bit of time. This is going to go with the lighthouse in I'm ghosting it tier. Body, Mind, and Spirit are given for completing all hot springs, haiku, inari shrines, and bamboo strikes on the island. Each of these can be tracked with your wind sense, so it comes down to just locking it and following the wind for a while until you get there. If it doesn't take you anywhere, then you've cleaned out that section of the map and then you just go to a different section of the island. The loop is a little boring, but there aren't too many that it becomes soul sucking, unlike my ex. But yeah, this is going into I'm ghosting it tier as well. You're just ghost maxing at this point. Avid Reader comes from collecting 20 records. This is also easy to get with clothes. It's the same as the Mongol achievement, but this is better because it's not the Mongols. Those guys. Anyway, this goes into I'm ghosting it as well. Now we slide on over to Iki Island, the DLC for the game, with our next achievement, A Few Splinters, which is for completing all the Boken duels. These duels aren't hard and they aren't deadly because you just use sticks. I want this to be in its own tier because I can. So I'm going to put this into Edging the Eagle tier. Treasures of the Past is unlocked when you complete the Mythic Tales on Iki Island. There are a lot less of these on Iki since it's a DLC island, but the idea is all the same. Story is told, it's 100% facts somehow, and then we get a technique or item from it. It's an Iki achievement, so off to Edge the Eagle we go. The benefit of all beings is given when building your legend to Legacy Redeemer. If you didn't know, Jin's dad kinda skull the people on this island. Anyway, the same system applies here of you trying to make a name for yourself, and eventually you are redeemed in the eyes of the people when you get this. It's an Iki achievement, so Edging the Eagle is where it goes. Out of the Past is given for beating the living out of the eagle. The fight was decent enough, not as good as the con because it's just a duel, so points off there, but it's alright. Anyway, yeah, you smoker and call it a day. So into edging the eagle tier it goes. The Butcher Redeemed comes once you put both the eagle down and clear out Mongol camps on the island. The enemies here are a little more annoying than on Tsushima, but if you have been doing Legends mode, you've seen all of this stuff before, so it's not earth-shattering or anything. Once you clean out those camps, like the allies in World War II, you get this achievement. It's still an Iki achievement, so we are still edging the eagle. I'm not going to dwell on the implications of that sentence now that she's dead though, we're just going to move on. Chiyoko's song is given when you complete all animal sanctuaries. Unlike the single fox type on Tsushima, there are various types of animals you interact with here. Doing a simple song-based challenge will clear each spot and allow for you to get this achievement when they're all done. It's cute enough, but not groundbreaking, and it's still an Iki achievement, so we are edging the eagle once again. Well-Rounded Warrior is next, and this is unlocked when you complete all haiku, onsen, Shinto shrines, and bamboo strikes on Iki Island. Similar to Body, Mind, and Spirit, this is for essentially cleaning up the island of all its activities. It's not difficult, but a tad time consuming. Nevertheless, it must go into edging the eagle tier. Now we have blood on your hands, sinner. The achievement doesn't mean anything dark, it's just that you bought an item from the Crimson Dye merchant and got your horse armor dyed. This merchant unlocks after you beat him in the Hidden Cove tournament, I believe, and the horse armor is part of a mythic tale. So once you get those and the materials you need, you'll have yourself this achievement. Surprising to no one, this is going into the eagle tier. Elegy for Kazumasa says complete all the memories of your father. This is also something on the island you can find while roaming about. I guess Jin just has that big brain memory and can remember things from like 10 plus years ago. My most distant memory was beating my and that was less than an hour ago. Anyway, once you find all of them, you get this achievement. It's nothing crazy, still, it's just getting all of Iki Island completed, so it's going into the eagle tier. Now we have our first really strange achievement. Monkey C says, embody the spirit of a monkey on Saruman. Saruia, I guess. This was a large mountain, and it had an animal shrine at the top, so I'd already gone up the long platform incline to get up there. However, during the climb, you see these monkey statues that are on offshoot paths and on the side of things and such. They are each in a weird position, which apparently represents hear no evil, see no evil, and speak no evil. And each one requires you to do a certain action at each one. Now, I don't remember them, and no, I'm not looking them up. Then there's a big statue at the top and you also do something I don't remember, and then you get this achievement. In no world do you get this done without help, and honestly that's fine. I can't put this into the eagle tier because it's just so different, so I'm sliding this into a new tier called Guide for Tsushima. Yes, I know this is on Iki, just let me have this. Pride of Ishikawa is unlocked when you achieve bronze or higher in all archery challenges. Do you think this is a pretty easy achievement, and yet only 9% of people have this? That's because they made a hidden archery challenge. Ooh, I really don't like these. Maybe it's just because I'm trying to 100% the game before I'm 85, but hiding what I need to do has never been my style. I don't usually play games to stop and smell the roses. I'm there to break noses. But yeah, you just have to go to a certain spot, talk to a guy, then toss on a certain armor set from a Tsushima mythic tale, and then you can do the challenge. Yippee. I'll save my for now, but because I had to look this up, it's going into Guide for Tsushima tier. Now we have Honor the Unseen, which says to bow to 10 hidden altars across Tsushima. Okay, now I'm gonna about this stuff. I think what bothers me the most about hidden stuff is when you make them mandatory. I grew up playing games that have hidden secrets, but they were like extra bonuses or little hidden powers you could use for a bit. The big thing was you didn't need them to complete the game. Now, yes, technically I finished the main storyline, so there's an argument to be had there, but if I want my silly little Steam profile to count this game as 100% done, then I need to find 10 tiny signs and bow at them. Some of them don't even have shrines. The graves of Masako's family and the Taka shrines you can bow at too. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just my pride being hurt when I have to look this stuff up, but it's not my favorite. Rant aside, since you're looking stuff up, this is going into Guide of Tsushima tier. Cooper Clan Cosplayer lets you dress as Hatsune Miku. Not really. It's just some guy I know nothing about. It says dress up as a legendary thief. Well, I didn't know my uncle was in the game. Get it? Because he took my virginity? Jokes aside, I feel like this is either a lore call out or a reference I'm just not getting. But fear not, I looked up how to do it and put the pieces on needed. Since I had to Google this, it's going into Guide of Tsushima tier. Living Legend is unlocked when you get all base game achievements. Because this was a PlayStation exclusive, it has the remains of the coveted Platinum Trophy. It's fun, and it's a reminder of all the you did to get this far. However, this isn't our final achievement, so I'll be putting this into Sucking the Shogun tier. It just feels right, you know? Common Courtesy is next, and it's anything but common. Only 6% of people have it, and it's because you need to discover and complete all unwritten tales on Iki Island. Ladies and gentlemen, we made it to the bugged achievement. This here has a tale where you find a woman looking an awful lot like this blind old I know. She wants to hear how one of Gyozen's stories end, even though they all end with, and then he died too. This is when you need to leave the solo game and actually go into Legends mode and complete the specific story level in Legends mode. That specific level being the last one you can unlock. Gyozen, you Anyway, in theory, once you finish that up, you can go back and tell her the story now that you've lived it yourself, literally. And it will finish that tale once you get something from her. The issue is, you may not get the clear after that. The game can kinda just ignore what you did, and if it does, you won't be able to interact with her again, and the game will leave the tale as incomplete, breaking the achievement. This sucks, but it's not nearly as bad for those on PlayStation, as there really isn't anything you can do on console. But we PC players have technology, and in dire situations, you can gift yourself the achievement. This is a debate for achievement hunting, and I know I'm new here, but I look at it like this. Could I have done this for every achievement on my profile? Yes. Even for this video, could I have simply gone through and stolen hours of footage from a random long play, researched the game extensively to tell you about it in a massive script, and edited it all together just to give you a perfect lie? Sure. But at that point, I'd prefer you hang me from the ceiling by my nutsack, because that sounds better than whatever the hell I just described. I think if a game is broken and you did what it said, then sure, you can put that achievement on your profile. You did it. I have a similar thought process to time-locked achievements as well. Just because I got to a game 10 years later doesn't mean I should be punished for it in my 100% journey. I know that take is more controversial, but please bicker about it in the comments. Your opinions fuel my empire. Anyway, all that aside, these tales are still hidden, so this goes into Guide for Tsushima tier. Friend to all raiders is given when you complete all Tales of Iki. Because the last achievement is glitchy at best, you can actually get 2 achievements bricked. Yeah. Thankfully, with the power of a moral gray area, you too can own a random line of code on your computer, assuming you have to pack this in. This should technically go into the same tier as the last one, but more people have it than the other achievements somehow, so I'll just be putting it into the Eagle tier. Now we have a Legend for All Time, which you get when you complete Jin's journey on New Game Plus. Hell yeah, baby, you get to beat this game again. I slashed and hacked and chopped my way through the main quests, down the con and emoted on my uncle, and called it a day. Because you already have all the shit from your previous run, you really don't have to worry about much. Sure, the enemies hurt a little more, but by this point, if you aren't casually crushing the Mongols in your sleep, you played the game wrong. It's another time sink, and can be boring if you don't love the game, but I do. So, I'm putting it into Sucking the Shogun, baby. And now, we have made it to the final achievement. 76 others came and went, and yet this achievement stood as the hardest, stupidest, ugliest, dumbest piece of achievement in this game. And it is complete all 3 raid chapters. Yes, it's a Legends achievement. And yes, it's horrible. It's called Transcendence, and it's well named because I almost transcended this plane of existence while doing it because I wanted to take my own life. Let me set the scene. Our fearless storyteller, an ancient piece of rotting human Gyozen didn't want to just end his story like the other tales in Legends mode. No, he wanted a full cinematic experience, a grand adventure that requires you to have 3 other people. This is the main issue. Finding even one other person to play this stone tablet of a game with is brutal, but getting 2 others for a full party of 4 is diabolical. Now, is this the game's fault? Yes, 100% it is. Did time help this at all? I understand why they wanted to do this. It's the culmination of your work in Legends mode. Mostly because if you don't have all level 120 gear and near perfect loadouts, as well as SEAL Team 6 coordination, you are more than the con was on my New Game Plus run. Now, I could excuse all that and not be so hard on this achievement if it wasn't so long. These 3 raid chapters will eat up a combined 2 to 3 hours of your time, and that's assuming you know exactly what you're doing and no one fucks it up. And I'm gonna be 100% honest, me and my group up plenty. You can tell this took ages because I got the second to last achievement on August 10th, 2025, and then got this achievement on November 17th of that same year. That's because we had to buy the game for my sister and help her grind a fresh account all the way to 120, so we had a 4th person to get this done. Could we have done it with randoms? Sure, but good luck. We gave it a try and our random person just left partway through, which completely bricks the mission as it's designed to be for 4 people, no more, no less. And to top it all off, it's tough. I like a good challenge, don't get me wrong, but it's not just you that needs to be extremely confident. Everybody needs to be up to snuff, which can be tough at times. After hours of grinding the mode and failed attempts due to gameplay failures or even connection issues, my brother, my father, my sister, and I finally got to the 3rd chapter. Thankfully, the last chapter is the shortest, and soon enough, we were kicking her teeth in and ended it all for good. Was it worth it? I don't know, man. There's a reason this achievement is so rare. In the gaming world today, this is asking you to defy all odds to take down some bitch who is big mad she died, and all she did was make me big mad that she's still alive. So I'm putting this into its own tier, which I called I will rebury Io and her child with a smile on my face tier. And that is the tier list. I know this is the longest video I've ever made, so I hope you stuck it all the way to the end. I do plan on making more, so let me know if I can do anything to help make it more entertaining, or if I should just speed run listing off the achievements or not. I'm not really sure what I'm doing. I appreciate all the support, and oh, have fun getting that abortion later.